That I have to pinch my pennies just to make sure I have enough food until the next paycheck is quite literally wild.
Gas prices have gone up 50 cents a gallon, and they're not done climbing yet.
He had to go to the emergency room because he couldn't get anybody to see him with the health insurance that he had, right? So he had to go to an emergency room. Now he's out money for that too. It seems like you can never get ahead.
High inflation, high grocery prices are sweeping American states by storm, and millions of Americans are struggling with this issue. On this channel, we dive into it. We talk about the economics and how it could impact you. You see just millions of Americans are suffering, barely able to, afford rent, grocery prices, gas, you name it. And it's a very sad, devastating state that the country is in. As I said in previous videos, thank you guys so much for tuning into those. We need to see some type of change, man. We need to see a change, or we have to go out and research and make that change ourselves. So we're gonna dive into it and hear the opinions of other Americans.
This is a PSA for all of the privileged, rich, wealthy Americans. Hi, my name is Bridget. I'm 32 years old. I work full-time. And my paycheck does not give me enough to even get the bare minimums, okay? I had a savings account and I just had to use about half of it just to get by until my next paycheck, okay? And the reality of that is once my savings is gone, I don't have a crutch. I don't have any more crutches. And the stress of going grocery shopping, y'all, I'm at Aldi, okay, which is quite literally probably one of the cheaper grocery options. And the way
it's always so disheartening to hear when people share their stories like this. Props to Bridget to taking this to a public platform, going through so much, making an honest living, and still not able to fully get by at all. Such a sad state of affairs.
that I have to pinch my pennies just to make sure I have enough food until the next paycheck is quite literally wild. So to all of my single humans out there, you're doing amazing. And we're a one income family. My fur babies don't work. I wish they did. I wish there was an opportunity, but what are we supposed to do? Like, when is enough enough? Because this kind of living is unsustainable. Unsustainable.
I agree. I 100% agree with that. Is it wrong for me to be an optimist and say maybe, with the introduction of AI and robotics, maybe things start to get better? But again, if you want something done, man, you have to have that mindset where, I'm gonna figure it out, I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna research, I'm going to start to budget, start to learn how to budget properly, start to invest, start to look into maybe starting my own business, some type of side hustle. And I'm not talking like sports betting, gambling, or anything like that, just something to take it one step at a time higher. I would say level up one step at a time. And you just so you could keep up, basically.
While y'all are out here driving your Teslas and your Cybertrucks and your G-Wagons, y'all, I'm in a Chevy Equinox, okay? And I'm starting to think I need to trade it in because I can't afford life anymore. When is enough enough? I would love to know. I would absolutely love to know. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. I have a college degree. I am overqualified for my job. I am severely, severely underpaid.
You hear that story so many times where people are overqualified.
What are we supposed to do? What's the answer? Because I think the next step for me, I'm gonna have to look into food stamps, and I bet you my salary is above the threshold. But obviously, I'm $85.26 away from being in the negative. What are we supposed to do? How am I supposed to buy groceries for 2 weeks with $85 only to have 26 cents left in my bank account? When is enough enough?
You could always do your best to take matters into your own hands and try to figure something out, right? Even if it doesn't get you that lifestyle where what you see on social media, remember a lot of social media is fake, but airing your grievances, sharing your opinion, your thoughts online, I'm not mad at it at all.
I need to have a vent session for a second about the state of affairs in this country. So I have 2 adult children. One is 18 going on 19 and the other one is 21. My 18-year-old is working currently as an HVAC apprentice and working on getting certified, but he's making $16 an hour, which I live in a small to mid-sized Missouri town, so that's pretty typical around here. Wages are, low compared to a lot of places, but so is the cost of living. But he would also not like to be living at home with mom forever. He's more of an independent, autonomous person, so apartment living is not for him at all. He wants a place where he can have his truck and his dirt bikes and be able to work on motors and have the freedom to do what he wants with the place and also be able to have all of his stuff. And at this point, honestly, renting a house would cost more than a mortgage.
That is great to see, man. Sounds like he definitely has a great head on his shoulder.
But he's been looking for houses and just trying to figure out what he can afford and what he can do. And he found this place that was only $125,000, which is dirt cheap around here. That just doesn't exist anymore. But it had no basement. It was on a slab foundation, I think, and probably needed some work, which he is naturally talented at that stuff. He works in HVAC. He's very mechanically inclined. He can do this stuff. So he's not afraid of a fixer-upper. Found out that the main reason it was priced so cheap is because it was in a flood zone. So it was a no anyway. But keep in mind,
but the price it's affordable.
$25,000 house in this economy. And when we looked up to see if he did a 5% down payment on this thing with your insurance and PMI and taxes and everything, his payment would still be $1,100 a month for a cheap piece of crap house. And just the look of absolute dread on his face when he realized.
Wow. Even for, like she said, a cheap piece of crap house, just insanely high prices for that.
How completely unaffordable and unattainable it is for him to be able to buy a house and live on his own.
Right.
Now, my oldest son just turned 21. He's been waiting to turn 21 because he wants to get into the cannabis industry. And it's just like the alcohol industry, where if you want to be a brewer or a bartender, you have to be 21 in order to do it. So this past week, Thursday, he interviewed for a job with a grower. And just a couple of days ago, he was offered the position and officially accepted it.
Nice.
And in that time, less than a week, we decided to start a war with Iran. And so when he interviewed for the job, gas prices were around $2.50 a gallon where I'm at, and now they are already at $3 a gallon and climbing. So,
oh, man. The timing, man. Gas price. I know a lot of people are up in arms about the gas prices. That is just terrible.
Just in the time between when he interviewed for this job and when he accepted this job, gas prices have gone up 50 cents a gallon, and they're not done climbing yet. And this is an issue because this job, there's a lot of dispensaries here in town where if he had, ended up there, he'd probably be a little bit better off. But this was the job opening that was available at the time for him to get into the industry. And it is a farm, which is 30 miles up the interstate from where we live. So now he is going to be driving one way to work 30 miles at a time when gas prices are going through the roof, because we decided it was a good idea to start a completely unwarranted, unjustified, and unnecessary war with Iran. And I'm now sitting here thinking about my own situation, where my own currently hourly wage is, and considering if I was their age, if I was just starting out, so thinking about buying the same house that I live in right now at its current value, at current interest rates, with the same percent down payment that I paid for this house back in 2017, and I realized that my payment would be double what it currently is, and I, as a 40-year-old woman who has been working for 24 years of my life, could not afford this place on my own. At 40 years.
And huge props to the mom to point out, hey, these are my sons. And she could see the difference between how it was back then compared to now. You see how she used the comparison to the house that she has compared to the house that the son wants to buy, right? So props to her for that, because, you know, you'd see it. But again, the system, man, completely rigged against the average person. Even again, people are making an honest living, and it's in such a sad situation, in such a sad spot here. And you know, I loved how she broke down that, you know, if you compare her the pricing now compared to back then, you'd be paying, she'd be, you know, she would be paying double for the, you know, the piece of crap house, right? Sad, man. It's terrible.
I would need a roommate in order to live in this very modest, like 1,300 square foot, 1968 ranch style home. Like, it's not a fancy house by any stretch. It's what most people would consider to be essentially a starter home by today's standards. And I could not afford it on my own on my current wages. So my question is, how the hell are we expecting these young kids to do it?
Right?
Like, for someone to start out, even in my area, in like rural Missouri, they would have to make $30 an hour in order to be earning a living wage, in order to live on their own and support themselves without the help of a spouse or a roommate, just for a single person to live and make it on their own, to be able to afford a vehicle payment, vehicle insurance, a mortgage or rent payment, and all of the utilities and groceries and cell phone bills and stuff that go along with just living your life. That's
and this is what I'm saying, right? This is someone, 40-year-old mom, that sees the struggles her kids are going through. So now it's like, okay, that's why I say it's always great to see these different opinions, and she's hitting the nail on the head here, right? Now clearly, if you want to make that change, like I said, you could figure out, how do I do this? How do I, you know, make that much money to achieve this? But for the standards compared to back then, for example, for the standards, how she compared to how much her house would be worth compared to the standards now, that's where it's like, okay, this is where we could see a change from maybe, you know, politicians, governments, higher authorities, something, right? But you can't just, you know, put reliance on, you know, political parties, right? You should, again, try to figure out something for yourself as well, right? But again, you could see that things have changed drastically for the worse, and it's not great. It's not great. It sucks. It's terrible. And there should be a change. There needs to be a change, right?
no fun stuff. It's just to live. They would need to make $30 an hour. Meanwhile, we have a government that is more interested in starting wars and harassing other countries and harassing immigrants that are living in this country than they are with their own people, than they are with helping the working class in any way, shape, or form with any kind of meaningful legislation or reform. We have a do-nothing Congress that is sitting on their hands and doing absolutely nothing to help any of the working class people. I'm mad about it for myself, but I'm even more mad about it for
the middle class, the working class, just suffering and going through it. It's infuriating. It is. It is infuriating, guys.
Children. Something needs to change. Something's got to give. And frankly, at the midterms, it would be great if the Democrats are able to take over, because at least they'll do something to stop the nonsense that is happening in the executive branch that is going on unchecked. But are they going to do anything to actually help the working class people? At the end of the day,
that's the question you have to ask, right? Left wing, right wing, will they help? That's what you have to figure out.
Even the Democrats are doing the absolute bare minimum to be able to claim that they are for the working class, because they, right along with the Republicans, are taking money from wealthy campaign donors, and any policy, any legislation that they pass ultimately is going to help them and not us. So where does this end? How far does this go before we, the people, cannot afford to live no matter what age we are.
This was from Lauren, man. Great points. No political bias. Just legitimately great points, and hitting the nail on the head here and showing like, hey, even if, you know, the left wing, right wing, doesn't matter, are they going to enact legislation to help the middle class, the working class? Are they going to do that? That's what you have to look for.
I am so tired of feeling helpless as a parent. Yes, my kids are grown adults. My oldest is 28, my youngest is 25. And I thought by teaching them what I learned, which is you work hard, you get a good job, you're going to get the things in life that you need, right? Worked for me, why wouldn't it work for them? Because it doesn't. Because the
sounded like sense to me. Sounded like perfect sense, right? Until
world has fucking changed, all right? And now I feel like I see them struggling, and before my generation comes at me, yes, I understand struggling is a part of life. We all struggled, but there's a difference between struggling and drowning, all right? So we struggled, and it was tough, but you know what? We made it. We knew there was a light at the end of the tunnel with our struggle. It seems like kids today, no matter how much they struggle, they just get further and further down the water into the drowning point, all right? When I was their age, I was making less than $10 an hour, and I could afford to live on my own. Now you have to be making six-figure salary to get a decent, tiny little place to live.
Wow. Less than $10
You have to be making six-figure on my own. Than $10 an hour. And I can afford to live less than $10 an hour.
Wow.
And I can afford to live on my own. Now you have to be making six-figure salary to get a decent, tiny little place to live.
Just like the same, you know, story we saw from Lauren.
To live. So what the fuck is going on, and how do we help them as parents? I told my son, all you have to do is work hard, go to college, or join the military like I did. He went to college, got his degree, got a full-time job. He moved back in with me right when he graduated from college because he said, hey, Mom, as soon as I get a job, which was within 2 weeks of him getting out of college, maybe take me 2 months and I'll save up enough money for me to move out. Okay, cool. It's been 10 months. He has saved almost every dime and still can't afford to live. Why are one-bedroom studio apartments almost $2,000 a month?
See in the comments section here, the traditional American dream is dead. I don't know the answer, but something has to change. Allison in the comments as well. As a millennial, I am tired. From Relly here, it's not just kids, it's everyone at this point.
Why? Like, I just don't get it. So I don't even think that there's even classes anymore. There used to be, upper class, middle class, lower class. It's literally turning into the ultra wealthy, and then everybody else is just poor. Like, that's what is happening. And then
I saw so many videos talking about the making the middle class obsolete, so there's no middle class anymore, right? I saw videos talking about that. I may dive into that in my next video. That is insane.
Told him, hey, when you turn 25, at least your car insurance will go down. Hell no, he turned 25 and his car insurance went up $150. I tell him, if you need health insurance, get a good job. He has health insurance. He has had a medical emergency this week. Had to go to emergency room twice. He had to go to the emergency room because he couldn't get anybody to see him with the health insurance that he had, right? So he had to go to an emergency room. Now he's out money for that too. It seems like you can never get ahead. And then my daughter, I told her all you have to do, because she wanted to buy her own house. My daughter worked 6 days a week, 12 hours a day to save up enough for this down payment. Finally got this house. She's paying double what I'm paying for my mortgage, but her loan was the same amount. And
again, Lauren did the same maths as well. The same math. Man. I'm curious to hear your thoughts in the comment section, guys. Comment down below. What do you think? Are you seeing things like that in the area that you are from? Comment where you're from as well.
And her mortgage company, after she's already moved in, said, oh, by the way, we forgot to tell you that you need this type of coverage, which we forgot at the beginning. That's an extra $200 you've been paying a month. And all they see when they come home is they watch social media, kids their age on lavish vacations with all.
But see, that's the thing. A lot of that is fake, though. A lot of it is fake. A lot of them aren't. You see, that are living those lavish lifestyles. They're not. A lot of them may not be saving. A lot of them may not be saving that money that they make to live like that, right? So that is a trick and a trap, in my opinion, to let those social media influencers convince you that everyone on social media, or those people are around your age, are ahead of you and that you're behind. The lady that we saw before, this lady as well has kids that are very smart, very intelligent, very sound in their decisions, their financial decisions. Her daughter working hard to save for the down payment, the son saving his money, right? So don't let the social media trap,
kids their age.
Don't let the social media trap trick you into thinking you're behind. Just go at your own pace, right? You're not competing against anybody. It's you versus you versus yourself.
On lavish vacations with all this money and nothing to do, all these social media influencers, because we value those types of things over hard workers. We will pay them $10,000, but you work 40 hours a week, you can't afford it.
It's really a different time that we're in, and it's devastating, man. It really is. System is rigged, man. The system is done. I pray for all the Americans out there, guys. Again, best thing to do is to start educating yourself on financial literacy. Saving is very important. Budgeting. The decisions her family took, in my opinion, great decisions, but it's still extremely difficult to get ahead. I just wish, like she said, it wasn't drowning, right? I wish it wasn't drowning, because tough times make tough people, gives you character, but I just wish it wasn't drowning as well. Let me get your thoughts down below. I really appreciate all the support on this content, guys. If you're new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you want to learn or connect with me one-on-one, you want to learn about YouTube, how to grow on YouTube, you want to just connect with me one-on-one or be a part of a community. Let's build a community here to share our own insights with what's happening so we could do something about it. Check out my WAP page in the description. Definitely recommend you check that out, guys. And always remember to give praise and glory to the Lord God Jesus, man. Thank God for everything, and I'll catch you in the next one.